He laughed when I told him I could make him disappear. That was his first mistake. The second was assuming I'd forgotten what I used to be. We met in his glass fortress overlooking the Thames. His suit cost more than my annual pension. He smelled like arrogance and imported whiskey. I came because he requested it, said he wanted to make things right. When I arrived, he slid a check across the table. £10 million. Take it and vanish, he said. His eyes were flat, reptilian. Your wife was worthless anyway. For a man who built his fortune on algorithms, he didn't understand the math of consequence. I didn't say a word, just looked at him, long enough for him to feel the weight of my silence. Then I walked out. I used to be MI6's ghost. 47 countries, 30 aliases. I learned how to vanish, yes, but more importantly, I learned how to erase. After I retired, I promised her I'd be done with that life. We moved to a quiet town in Surrey. I shelved books for a living, cataloged stories written by people who believed in justice but never met it. She used to visit during lunch, always brought tea, always smiled. That day, she didn't make it. A hit and run. A Lamborghini, no skid marks. Witnesses said the driver was laughing. Security footage malfunctioned. By midnight, I knew the name. Alexander Gant, son of Victor Gant. Tech magnate, investor, political donor, untouchable man of the year. And murderer's father. I didn't rage. I didn't weep. I cleaned the teacup she'd left on the table, still half full. Then I went to work. 3 months. That's how long it took. Long enough for the police to close the case. Insufficient evidence. That phrase means money moved faster than truth. So I followed the money. Through shell corporations in the Caymans. Through AI startups laundering data. Through Swiss foundations funding climate research. Every trail led to the same signature, Victor Gant's. The man built an empire on secrets. Convenient. So had I. I started with his son. Alexander's routine was painfully predictable. Clubs, influencers, cocaine, women too young to vote. I didn't need to get close. I just needed his phone. An easy lift at the club. 2 minutes, a crowded dance floor, a bump of the shoulder. By morning, I had access to everything. Messages, coordinates, bank transfers, pictures of the car before it was scrubbed. Then I sent him one message from his own number. I remember her face. He didn't sleep for 2 days. By the third, he was on a private jet to Monaco. I let him run. Meanwhile, I began to dismantle his father. Quietly. First, the data leak. Emails implicating Victor in insider trading, anonymously sent to investigative journalists. Then, a whistleblower complaint from one of his senior engineers, fictional but convincing. Finally, the clincher. Financial links to offshore weapons deals under the name of a deceased Shell CEO. It was surgical, elegant. I didn't need to frame him, I just exposed what was already true. While the world watched his empire burn, I watched from the library window, sipping her favorite tea. But I wasn't finished. I wanted to see him understand, to know it was me. So when he called, his voice cracked, desperate, I answered. He didn't recognize the number. "Who is this?" he demanded. I said, "The librarian." Silence. Then breathing. Then a whisper, "You?" Yes, me. He started cursing, threatening, then pleading, offering more money. I let him talk himself into panic. Then I told him a story about a man who thought he was safe because he was rich, until the world turned against him, until his own board ousted him, his accounts froze, his son fled with fake documents to a country that didn't exist. Then I ended with a line he'd understand. "Take it and disappear. You're worthless anyway." And I hung up. 2 weeks later, Victor Gant was found in his penthouse pool. Officially, it was suicide. Unofficially, it was justice delayed. Alexander didn't last much longer. Monaco authorities caught him with falsified papers. The extradition made headlines. The trial will drag on for years. I'll never attend. I don't need to. My wife's grave is quiet now. I read to her every Sunday, always the same book, The Count of Monte Cristo. She used to say revenge stories were tragic. I suppose she was half right. But sometimes tragedy is the only language justice understands. I still shelve books at the library, still smile at the regulars, still wear the face of a man who moved on. They see a retired civil servant, a quiet widower cataloging stories. What they don't see is the shadow behind the calm. They don't see the ghost who came back to life long enough to balance the scales. Because the truth is simple. I didn't kill Victor Gant. I just gave him the rope, the stage, and the silence to hang himself. And when the world applauded his fall, I turned the page. Justice, after